Now we're going to enter to a very, very, very mysterious way the Egyptian used to live.
Misterio.
Yes, let's see. I was watching some videos and I don't know if it's better if I begin with the. Let's begin with the PowerPoints, and then at the end we're going to watch the videos that I select for you guys. Okay. So let's complete the ideas here in the PowerPoint that we started yesterday. Now remember yesterday we were talking about the Egyptian myth, and they said that they believe in afterlife. Okay, remember, mixed human and the different kind of gods that have human and have animal. Okay, now many historians consider Menes to be Egypt's the first pharaoh. Remember, I know this is the dynasty. No, this is not. Okay, this is the one. Gods and goddess. Yesterday, with another class, we have some difference about this one. This is the underworld god. Este es el dios del inframundo. Anubis. ¿Qué otro? Ra. Este es muy conocido.
Dios del sol, según yo sé, es el dios del sol.
Yes, el dios del sol, Ra. Mire que es una mitad cuerpo humano y mitad como un halcón. All blessing, wealth, and healing. ¿Quién es otro? Osiris, también muy importante.
¿De la justicia y de qué más?
La diosa Osiris. Ya, la diosa Osiris. The justice, de la justicia. Horus and Isis. This one also is known. Love, la diosa del amor. Ya.
Y la más.
Ajá. Now, the Egyptian, they emphasize the religions in the afterlife. Okay, now they emphasize everything in afterlife. Why? Because they believe that there is a life after this life. Okay, hay una vida después de esta vida. So they used to do different things in order to prepare the pharaoh's body in order to go to another place. So let's see. Most Egyptian religions focus on the afterlife. The Egyptians believed that the afterlife was a happy place. Era un sitio bien chévere, decían ellos. Happy place, un sitio alegre. Paintings from Egyptian tombs show the afterlife as an ideal world, como un mundo ideal, where all the people are young and healthy, donde todos son jóvenes y están saludables. The Egyptians believe in the afterlife stem from their ideas of Ka. ¿Qué es el Ka? Es el alma. El Ka. Or a person's life force, es una fuerza humana, que más bien es como el alma de uno. When a person dies, his or her Ka left the body, como que el alma abandona el cuerpo and become an spirit, y se convierte en un espíritu. ¿Ya? El alma se convierte en un espíritu. Eso es lo que ellos piensan en aquella época, chicos. Now the Ka remain linked. El Ka, el alma o el alma se mantiene conectada al cuerpo, dice. They remain linked to the body and could not leave its burial site, y no podía abandonar el sitio donde se le entierra. However, he had all the same needs that the person had when he or she was living. Ellos dicen que a pesar de todo eso, que habían muerto, necesitaban todo lo que necesitaban, como si estuviese vivo. Por eso cuando enterraban a los faraones, a las personas le dejaban todo lo que necesitaba, su comida, le dejaba su cama, le dejaba su ropa, y a veces le dejaba hasta 2 esclavos, los que lo iban a cuidar a él durante su paseo al más allá, afterlife, okay? To fulfill the Ka needs, people fill tombs with objects for the afterlife. These objects include furniture, ya les dije, muebles, ropa, clothing, tools, armas, and jewelry, y joyas. Y quizás también quieran armas, weapons, okay? Es lo que pensaban en aquella época. Nada. The existence, now, the Ka, este es el Ka, esta es la diferencia entre el Ka, el Ba y el Hak. El Ka dice spiritual duplicate, stored in the heart, está ubicado en el corazón. En la muerte se separa de su cuerpo, inhabita la tumba, require food, clothing, y eso por eso el Ka, porque siempre está conectado con el cuerpo, necesita esto, require food, clothing, perfume, furniture, and everything. Now, the ba es el espíritu. Una cosa es el alma y otra cosa es el espíritu. Character, personality, enter, body, at birth. El ba es cuando tú naces. Cuando tú naces, tú entra esa personalidad tuya. El ba entra en el cuerpo de la persona. Y cuando muere, sales el ka. Y Agmund dice, mummy that would transform into a form that could exist in the afterworld upon death. Después de la muerte. Cuando se convierten en mummies. Now, the burial place, el sitio donde ellos los entierran. Sitio donde los entierran. The Egyptians believed that a body had to be prepared for the afterlife before it could be placed in a tomb. El cuerpo lo preparaban, lo embalsamaban, como se dice. Lo embalsaman es que le quitan todos los órganos internos y después lo ponen con una especie de ¿qué? De cintas, como una especie, como dice aquí, mummies, ¿ok? To keep the ka, para mantener el ka, que era el alma, from suffering, para que no sufra, the Egyptians developed a method, ahí está, ellos desarrollaron un método llamado embalsamar. Eso es embalsamar, que le sacan todas las cosas del cuerpo de adentro, le sacan todo, y entonces esto lo forran todo con una cinta, así como las momias, así mismo. Embalsam prepare body to keep them from decay, para mantenerlo para que no se descomponga. Ya quién sabe qué líquidos o qué químicos utilizarán para mantener el cuerpo de los faraones, para que no se dañen tanto. Okay? Now, Egyptian prevent body as a mummy. Preserve body as a mummy, como una momia. Bodies wrapped in clothes for the afterlife. Una tela que lo envuelven todo para preparar a la otra vida. Embalming preserve a dead body for many, many years. ¿Ya? Muy bien. Vamos a ver, yo quiero ya llegar a terminar esto para... Now, los pirámides, ¿qué son las pirámides? Were built as a huge tomb. Era una tumba, las pirámides eran como unas tumbas for Egyptian pharaoh, para los faraones. Todas estas pirámides son tumbas de ciertos faraones, de horas menores y otros. Todos son tumbas de los faraones. No. The Egyptians believed that burial sites, el sitio donde se entierran, especially royal tombs, especialmente las tumbas reales, were very important. As a result, they built spectacular monuments in northern Africa in which to bury their rulers. The most spectacular of all were the pyramids, a huge stone tomb with form of triangle-shaped side that meet in a point top. Aquí se reúnen, aquí las cuatro se reúnen acá en el top. Huge stone tomb with 4 triangle-shaped side that meets in the point top. The Egyptians first built pyramids during the Old Kingdom. O sea que la primera pirámide se construyó en el Old Kingdom. Now, the largest example of this architecture is the Great Pyramid of Khufu, near the town of Giza. It covers more than 13 acres, más de 13 acres. In the base are stand of 481 left high. Este es el famosa pirámide de Giza. Yeah. Now, like all pyramids, it's an amazing reminder of Egyptian specific contribution to the engineering, the use of science and math to help people. For example, the design of Great Pyramid of Khufu or Giza used a mathematical formula that is still being used millennia later. Building the pyramids. ¿Cómo creaban, cómo construían las pirámides? Historians are not sure, no estamos seguros of the Egyptian build the pyramid. No estamos seguros si ellos fueron los que los crearon, dicen los historiadores. What is certain is that such enormous project requires a huge labor force. As many as 100,000, 100,000 trabajadores may have been needed to build this single pyramid. Se necesita más o menos como 100,000 trabajadores, imagínense. For years, scholars have debated how the Egyptians moved to the massive stones used to build the pyramids. Some believe that during the Nile flooding, builders floated the stones downstream directly to the construction site. Esa es una idea. Most historians believe that workers used brick, ramp, and strong slides to drag the stones up the pyramid once they were there. Okay. Now over here, there are some pictures how they think the Egyptian built the pyramids over here. Look over here, how they cut the big stones, and they put it over here, and they start moving, rolling. They start rolling, like this one rolling to this area, and where they put it in this position, like this. And they cut it and they put it in this position. So, but anyway, we don't know for certain if that's the way it was, okay? Now, el significado de las pirámides. The burial in pyramids demonstrate a pharaoh's importance. The size and shape of the pyramid were symbolic to ancient Egyptians. Pointing to the sky, the pyramid was an icon that symbolized the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. The Egyptians wanted the pyramids to be spectacular because they believed that the pharaohs, as their links to the gods, control everyone's afterlife. Making the pharaoh's spirit happy was a way to ensure one's own happy afterlife. Si nosotros aseguramos que el faraón se iba feliz, dice que nosotros también cuando moríamos también íbamos a estar feliz en la siguiente vida. Muy bien. Now I want to show you some videos that talks about this Egyptian. Let's begin with this one, guys. Yeah, Egyptian. How is the life? How they think the ancient Egyptian afterlife? What was it like? Okay, now they talk about all this.
What was the ancient Egyptian afterlife like, and why did the ancient Egyptians put so much effort into getting there? In this video, you'll learn the 3 things that you need to know to understand what the ancient Egyptian afterlife was like and why you'd want to be there. Welcome to Voices of Ancient Egypt, where we demystify the words and lives of the ancient Egyptians through animated videos like this one. If you're new here, I'd love to have you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss future videos like this one. The ancient Egyptians had what might seem to us very strange and complex beliefs about what life after death was like and how to prepare for it. So what was the point of it all? The point was, in fact, not to obsess over death, but rather to overcome it and be able to live on forever in what we now call the afterlife. But what was the ancient Egyptian afterlife actually like? Let's jump into the 3 things that you need to know about the ancient Egyptian afterlife to understand why they spent so much time and money preparing for it. Number 1, there was no one single accepted idea of what the afterlife was like. This might seem like the weirdest part of all, but the ancient Egyptians had many different interpretations and ideas about religious concepts such as the afterlife. Some traditional beliefs were certainly more popular in some places and in some time periods than others, but the ancient Egyptians seem to have had no issues at all with there being varying viewpoints on these topics. So, if there were multiple beliefs about what the afterlife was like, what were they? I'm so glad you asked, because that leads us to Number 2. The afterlife could mean living among the gods, the sun, and the stars in the sky. This idea was especially common for kings, but it expanded to more people over time. In this version of the afterlife, the person could live among the stars, hang out with the moon god, or even ride in the sun god's boat, which the sun used to travel through the sky during the day and then through the underworld during the night. Is all of this making sense so far? If so, let me know by writing afterlife in the comments below. Number 3. The afterlife could mean living in an even better version of ancient Egyptian rural life forever. You could think of this version of the ancient Egyptian afterlife as a type of paradise, but you won't find any angels sitting on clouds here. Instead, this place, which was often called the Field of Reeds by the ancient Egyptians, was much like life in ancient Egypt before death, only better. This location was ruled by the god Osiris and was sometimes envisioned as being under the earth, and at other times was thought of as being up above the sky. As in life, this version of the afterlife could include things like being reunited with your family, eating, drinking, and even making love. But it also potentially included having to work. To make the afterlife even better than the first life and to avoid this type of physical labor, the ancient Egyptians planned ahead. They often included in their burials small figurines of workers called shabtis, who could take their place if they were called to work in the afterlife. The two main versions of the afterlife that I've described here may seem to conflict with each other, but because the ancient Egyptians believed that every person had multiple parts to them that separated after death, including the Ba, the Ka, and the Akh, people could conceivably be in many places at once. Therefore, you might be in your tomb, in the field of reeds with Osiris, and in the sun god's boat, all at the same time. So which version of the afterlife would you want to live in forever? Would you want to live in the sky with the gods? Or would you prefer to live a better version of everyday life in the field of reeds? Let me know in the comments below. And of course, you can also let me know on Instagram and Facebook. To learn more about ancient Egypt, click on one of the videos linked at the bottom of the screen.
Okay, now let's watch this video and talk about the different kind of gods. Okay.
Of ancient Egypt. Amun. A primeval god, the Egyptians interpreted his name as the Hidden One. As Amun-Ra, he was identified with the sun god. Known as the king of deities, he is associated with the hawk and the ram. His Karnak temple was one of the most glamorous. Anubis, the god of mummification and embalming. He also protected the mummy from evil forces in the night and conducted the weighing of the heart in the Hall of Judgment before Osiris and the 42 deities. He is associated with the jackal. Bastet, the cat goddess worshipped in the city of Bast. She was connected with the moon and in a myth became the eye of the moon. She was one of the most popular household deities. Bes, a protective spirit who averted evil. His most important attribute was the Sa, the symbol of protection. Bes was usually portrayed as a dwarf with a huge bearded head, protruding tongue, flat nose, shaggy eyebrows and hair, large projecting ears, long thick arms, and bowed legs. Hathor, the name of the goddess means House of Horus. She was a sky goddess in earlier times and she appeared as a cow, a symbol of fertility. She was also the goddess of dance, music, and love. Hathor is one of the oldest known goddesses of Egypt, symbolizing the Great Mother or cosmic goddess who conceived, brought forth, and maintained all life. Horus. Horus is associated with the hawk and may be depicted as a hawk with or without the double crown of Egypt, or as a man with a hawk's head. He is the god of kingship. Isis, daughter of Geb and Nut, sister of Osiris and Seth, and Osiris's wife. Isis was more popular than any other goddess in Egyptian history. It was Isis that found the pieces of her husband, Osiris, put him back together and gave birth to their son, Horus. Isis was the goddess of love and magic. As the protector of little children, she is also associated with motherhood. She is depicted as a woman with a throne on her head. Ma'at. The goddess Ma'at was the personification of the basic laws of all existence. She embodied the concepts of law, truth, justice, and world order. In the Hall of Judgment, at the weighing of the heart of the deceased was placed on the scales of justice, balanced against the feather of Ma'at, the symbol of truth. She was usually depicted as a woman with an ostrich feather on her head. Nut. Nut was the daughter of the air god Shu. She was also the sister and wife to Geb. She was the personification of the vault of heaven and the Milky Way. Nut was considered to be a protector of the dead and at times was depicted as a cow. Osiris, the most well-known figure in Egyptian history and the lord of the underworld. He was a god of agriculture, resurrection, and eternal life. Osiris had many titles, including Wenifer, the perfect one. His brother Seth envied his popularity and murdered him, dismembered him, and scattered the pieces throughout the Nile Valley. His wife Isis found the pieces and through magic conceived their son Horus. Osiris then became the god of the underworld. Osiris is usually depicted as a mummified man. Sekhmet, lioness-headed goddess of war and of the desert. The ancient Egyptians called her the Mighty One. She was the protector of the king whenever he went into battle, and conversely, she was also a goddess of healing. Sobek, crocodile-headed god of the Nile. The ancient Egyptians believed that the waters from the Nile came from his sweat. Thoth. The ancient Egyptians called this god Jehuti. The ibis bird and baboon were associated with Thoth. Thoth was the lord of the moon, the lord of time, and the recorder of years. As the god who invented writing, he was the protector of scribes. As a protector of Osiris, he also became helper of the dead. When the Greeks came to Egypt, they assimilated Thoth to their god of magic, Hermes, and he became known as Hermes Trismegistus.
Okie dokie, that was it, guys. It's 10:42. 10:42. We don't have more time for more information, so over here. Today we finish the Old Kingdom, guys. Okay. Now I just wanna tell